Futures and options on futures trading involve substantial risk and is not a suitable investment for all types of investors. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. When I use the word I in this video, it refers to what I teach in my charting course or what I author in my twice daily oral and written updates. Prices shown on charts and quote boards are in real time and take into account all known activity up to this point in time. And if you'd like to read more of this disclaimer, simply hit the pause key on your video player.
Good day, all. Ira Epstein of Linn and Associates with your metals market update for this Monday. And we are now on September 17th, 2018, and it's about 5:16 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I've waited as long as I can, hoping that the president would follow through on what he said after the market close. He was going to have an announcement. We've not seen anything other than Brett Kavanaugh, the nominee for Supreme Court Justice. It's going to be a hearing next Monday. The president has not asked the FBI to vet him, and we know nothing about China other than the word is that if the president puts out more tariffs, President Xi of China, well, he's not going to have any negotiations at that point. They won't negotiate losing that kind of face. Who the heck knows where it goes? But in the metals, the gold is holding up. And I think the word stagflation is something you should go and read on the internet, because I think that's where this economy might be headed, between the trade wars, this thing getting further and further along with no deals yet being made with anyone. We have a verbal deal with Mexico, but I don't know what happens if you don't get Canada in. Ms. Freeland said that she's going to come to the U.S. and talk again. We'll see. But we're about charts. We're not about my comments. We're about what the market's doing. And as you can see on a weekly chart, you went from 1353 to 1161.40. I continue to believe that 1161.40 was made at the time of Turkey's crisis, Argentina's crisis, Venezuela's, everybody dumping what gold holdings they had in order to be able to pay some bills. And the market has since rebounded about $40 from there. This sideways action is very important to watch. You're going to see in a moment here that the Bollinger Bands are narrowing in where the 18-day average of closes is. This is a market that is gearing up to do something. If the market can take out this high, which was today, Monday's high of 1209.70, and we're already right now on Tuesday's trade because I'm at 5:16 p.m. That could give you a pattern of higher lows and higher highs. That would be bullish. The market is fighting against the 18-day average of closes. This red line, I tell you, that is what I call the line in the sand. It is where a market tries to figure out what to do next. As that's occurring, instead of these big moves up or down, you're getting this narrower action in pricing. As that's occurring, notice how the black bands of the Bollinger Band are narrowing in. This is just like, if you will, a spring winding its way in a pipe, and eventually it's going to have enough pressure to break out to the up or down side. As you look at momentum, you're getting no clue at all. It is just drifting sideways. So what we have is a market currently that has a higher high, a lower low. It's stuck at the 18-day average. Momentum is flat, and even the bias is pretty much flat right here. When I take a look at the GLD ETF, it's not the same as the futures. It is in an uptrend. You have the higher lows, the higher highs. What would negate that is taking out the lows of Friday, and that number would be 113.58, because that could give you a pattern of lower highs than lower lows and set you up down here at the 112.43 area. That's something I'm watching. The gold miner stock, when I was out of town the past 3 days, well, it took off right through here. It's been fighting a battle at the 18-day average. It is no longer in a downtrend. It changed that when I was gone. I'll call it, you have higher lows, do you have higher highs? Well, if you look at today's high, 1842, it's a double high. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. You finished at 1832, which is just under the 18-day average. Momentum is up. Bias is down. The trend is trying to turn up. Getting over 1842 could attract some buyers, and if so, the question is, can the market make a run finally back to an upper Bollinger Band, or is this going to be another failure in the market? The gold-silver ratio has completely stalled out at 84.80. Now, I'd normally get more friendly these other charts if this were breaking down, because I still think that in order to get a bottom in the metals, what you want to see at some point is what? The gold-silver ratio break. If you go back and you do your work, you'll see that. That gives you a problem with industrial metals. If you get tonight more tariffs on China, and if they respond in a negative way, which I would assume they would, you know, they can hurt America too if they ever want to shut down our supply chain. They can turn around and say, no exports on these products. We're not going to allow it. I don't know how they do that, but it could be done. What would happen then? So you're getting this mixed picture in the metals. You got a higher high, a lower low. The market's sort of stuck right here. It's been in an oversold territory for literally this whole month. Not embedded, just oversold. Difficult market. On the copper trade, it's hard to want to own copper if you're going to get these trade wars. If we go in for $500 billion overall of tariffs, they start shutting down what they'll send to us. Is there going to be that much demand for the copper? I don't know, but that becomes a question mark that you look at. Then we get to the platinum market, which is in an uptrend. You've got the higher lows, the higher highs. That part is bullish. You have bias up. The market is in an area, though, that is overbought. I define in the momentum index slow stochastics, any reading over 70 is overbought. Last is you get into the metal part. The palladium market remains the strongest of all the metals, and I know I've been a broken record all month long basically saying that, and I'm still in that camp. If it decides to march higher, 997 could be your next target in that market. So this is the strongest of the markets. And then you get to the dollar, which remains in a bear trend. Lower highs, lower lows. Now, is it going to find support right here between the lower Bollinger Band and the 100-day average of closes in an oversold condition? I would think it might. So it's something I'd be looking at, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some short covering coming in right through there. I want to remind you about my market research. One of the things I do is I write twice daily reports. I'm going to be writing late tonight because I'm waiting to see what the president does, and I'll try to give my reactions to what I'm seeing and what he says. The expectations are a 10% tariff on $200 billion worth of goods, but you know as much as I do. Is he going to do it? Is it going to be all that? What goods is he talking about? A lot to be discussed here. To find out and get my copy of my reports, and they come out twice a day, call my staff or go to our website, sign up for our free offer there, and you can click up here to do that as well. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.